That's what I'm talking about, right? Some dinner plans. Nothing to it. Nothing to it. Right? A little of that. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So what you just saw was a clip of last year, actually. I have been to the Performance Center a couple of times now, and that was a clip with a hot lap with one of the instructors in a G80 M3. Ton of fun, and I thought I would throw that back up there. So I just got back from the 2-day M School at the BMW Performance Center in South Carolina. And the goal of this video is simply to lay out what I liked, what I didn't like, and kind of what to expect. You know, going into this, I had been to the Performance Center before, but it was never for a full 2-day school. And it was my first time doing any of the manufacturer schools or similar before, so I didn't quite know what to expect. There's a few videos online that I found that kind of showed some highlights and some GoPro footage, which is awesome, but I didn't really have an idea of what to expect from a full school like this. So I thought I would make one. So this is gonna be simply an idea, an outline of what I experienced, what I liked, and kind of what you could expect going to a school like this. So it is a full 2 days. I think our days were Monday and Tuesday, and it was 9 to 4-ish on both days. I think day one we started around 8:30, ended around 4. Day two had some rain towards the end of the day, so we kind of started early and cut lunch earlier a little bit to finish up the full lap sessions at the end. But full 2 days. They do provide lunch both days, and then for my session they had like an hors d'oeuvres open bar type situation at the end of day one, which is really nice. For those of you who don't know, BMW does everything first class. So any of the schools, any of the experiences you do, it's always first class with BMW. They don't go cheap from what I've experienced. So it's always a good time and you're always taken care of. I definitely probably should have had a bigger breakfast both days. You know, it's physical. Like you're doing classroom sessions for an hour and a half or so in the morning on both days, I believe. And I think there may have been a small classroom session at the end of lunch before the afternoon session on both days. But you know, it's physical. I mean, race car drivers are usually the professionals are in shape for a reason, and you're pulling a couple of G's, maybe a G and a half or something, when you're doing the accelerations and decelerations and corners and corner entry and stuff like that, and especially when the pros are driving and you're in the car with them. So it's you know, a lot on your body if you're not used to it. I've done track days before, but never 2 days straight. So going into it, you know, I have a G80 M3, so I was thinking I kind of knew what to expect, and I didn't. So I probably should have prepared my body a little bit better. So that's a first tip I would give. You know, there was actually 2 people that threw up on day one. And then one person didn't come back on day 2, and then another person kind of said they were tired and stopped at the end of, or halfway through the session on day 2 in the afternoon. So, and there was 14 total. So 14 on day 1, and like we lost a couple on day 2. So it's a ton of fun. You don't have to have experience on any other schools to do this school. So not trying to scare anybody, but if you don't like going fast, then it's probably not a school for you. From what I understand, this is a prerequisite to do the Advanced M School, which is what I plan on doing next. And then the Advanced M School, you can kind of pair with the SCCA race license class, I guess you could take. So they kind of sign you off on your journey if you wanted to go that route. So I kind of jumped into the 2-day M School so I can get the full experience. And then also if I want to go to the Advanced M School to get my race license path, then I could do that as well. So right off the bat, day one, we had M2 comps, the new G87s. At the time of this video, this is November of 2023, so the G87s, M2s are out now. Last year when I went, they had the F87s, which was cool. So this year the G87s were there, and of course the G80 M3, G82 M4, and the F90 M5 were the 4 vehicles that we had for the 2-day M School. Primarily they use the M2s, M4s for the drift pads and the autocross, and then the M5s for the big open track for day one. So right off the bat, we got in the M4s, went around to the drift pad, which is a big oval pad, sprinklers coming in to wet the course, and they kind of take you around in a circle. One thing to note, you're going about 40 miles an hour-ish in a pretty tight circle at 40 miles an hour, and you hop in with the pro driver to kind of get a taste of what it's like, and they're gonna go over with every course and every session, they're gonna go over what to expect. And then when you're in your car, you have a walkie-talkie, two-way radio essentially, so everyone's on the same channel and you can hear what's going on. But you will hop in a vehicle with a pro driver so you can experience what they're talking about. So everything has a progression, which is really cool. But on the first event we did, hopped into the back of an M3 the instructor had, and went around the course, the skid pad about 15 times, and I started to get a little bit sick, sitting in the back seat. So if you do get motion sickness, maybe ask to sit in the front seat, or you can kind of just step out and just listen on the radio, because a lot of these are tight corners, high speeds, multiple corners. So sitting in the back seat kind of gets me sometimes. So if it does you may want to look out for that, because it can throw you off for the rest of the day. And like I said, there's a couple people who threw up that day, so just be mindful of that. But in the skid pad, they kind of want to teach you how to get the vehicle out of control and then back in control. So essentially, we're in the M4s, and they get you up to about, well, first of all, DSC is completely off. So these are the competition rear-wheel drive vehicles. They take DSC completely off, so there's no traction control, there's no assist from the car whatsoever. And you're gonna take the vehicle around the track, which is a circle skid pad, like I mentioned, completely soaking wet. Sprinklers are going, windshield wipers are on full. And they want you to get to about 30, 40 miles an hour, hold that line, and then give it some throttle, about 50% throttle. It doesn't take much more than that with 500 plus horsepower to break the back wheels loose. And they want you to lose control, then regain control. So you're kind of gonna lose the back end and then bring the back end back in. Regain speed about 25, 30 miles an hour, then do it again. So that was a lot of fun. And if you got that down, they would kind of help you drift and kind of give you some longer sessions on drifting to kind of get that down, which essentially it is drifting, but they're wanting you to understand how to control the vehicle when there's no traction, and how to get a vehicle back in control when you're out of control. So that was a ton of fun. So after that, we went over to a separate skid pad, which essentially was for the rat race. And this is where they're trying to teach you more car control. So wet surface, DSC off, so no traction control. This was in the M4s once again. And it's an oval essentially, and the cars are kind of faced back to back like this, and you kind of start off in separate directions. And the first one to make it back around to the cone is essentially the winner. Sounds very simple, it's very hard to do that, because the faster you go, you're gonna lose traction. Your back tires are gonna spin out, because again, it's a wet surface. So they're teaching you how to drive the car fast, but maintaining control in a safe manner. All of this was done in the first half of the day. Moving along, after that, we went over to the track portion, hopped in the M5 competitions, and practiced some corner entry. After the skid pad portion, the remainder of day one was essentially putting pieces of the track together, following the morning of day two. So the end of day two, you did a full track session for multiple sessions to put everything together. So it's a building block throughout the 2 days, and you're building on your skill sets along with some classroom time, teaching you apex, corner entry, corner exit, how to feel the weight of the car, certain physics of the car, and it's not extreme, advanced level, but it's also a little more than beginner. So it was a really nice combination for those 2 days to build on skills I already had and make me a better driver all the way around. So going into the corner entry, this was a 10 out of 10 braking, so foot to the floor, up to about fourth gear, and then 10 out of 10 braking, foot through the floor with the brake. They want you to come to a complete stop. Once you do that, they're gonna take you around and kind of guide you on how to trail brake into a corner, or depending on the corner, maybe you need to finish your braking so you can capitalize on that corner, because your tires can only handle so much at a time. So then we had lunch, which was fantastic. Of course, they always do a really nice job of providing food for the students there. And then we went on to the autocross. We hopped in the M2s, which was the new G87 M2. So that was the first time I actually have driven a new M2, was at the performance school. So that was really cool to do. And the autocross was, essentially, I would say probably 6 to 7 corners, true autocross style, slight elevation change just on their track, maybe 10, 15 feet or so. And kind of building up of how to put multiple braking, cornering, corner entry, corner exit in tight corner configuration and put those together, which is a lot of fun. And then to finish off the end of the first day, we hopped in the F90 M5s again and did a fast lap for fastest time. So fastest person to do the half lap kind of won that event, which was a lot of fun. Instructors were there the whole time, obviously different portions of the track, monitoring what you were taught the entire day, putting that together and kind of giving you guidance over the radios of kind of how you were doing. So something else I would kind of put out there, if you're traveling to there or you live within a few hours, definitely get a hotel. I did not. My family, or I have family that lives in Helen, which is north of Georgia. So about an hour, 45-minute drive, and it was close to Thanksgiving holiday, and I figured I was just kind of drive back and forth. So I was up at 5:30, did an almost 2-hour drive in the morning, 2 hours back at night. Probably won't do that again. I was exhausted by the end of day one. That 2-hour drive back, went right to sleep, woke up, another 2 hours back. It was a lot, and I think it probably degraded a little bit of my, energy for the day. Already kind of being tired, going through traffic before I even get there and then heading back, versus going to the Marriott 5 minutes down the road and getting that hotel for the night. That's definitely the way to do it. So if you live in that southeast region or in California in that region, definitely get a hotel. I highly recommend it because you're going to be tired, and it's not worth, sacrificing a couple $100 when you've already spent, a good amount of money for a school like this just to save a couple $100. Just get the hotel. It'll definitely be worth it. So on to day two. So my day two was pouring down rain, 46 degrees. Traction was limited, below 50 degrees on the summer performance tires. They aren't as happy, but it was insane how much traction these cars had. We hopped into the M5, 9 a.m. I think it was 46 degrees, light rain, and the driver just punched it. I mean, he was full on throttle into the big sweeping corner, double apex, came back around, and me and the other two guys in the car were amazed at how fast he went around the track and how much traction they had. One thing to note, all the cars, so the M3, 4, and 5 all were equipped with carbon ceramic brakes. The new G87s did not, because they don't come with them yet. At the time of this video, they don't. So those were kind of for the autocross and for the wet course, essentially. But for the big high-speed stuff, the M3, 4, and 5s all had carbon ceramic brakes, which help with brake fade. And these things were definitely an experience. Going at that high speed, coming into brake at that extreme level was impressive that they had that much braking power even in the wet. Full on throttle in the rain in that wet course, you're gonna lose traction, but you can pretty much go 9 out of 10 on braking and not lose traction. So corner entry was pretty intense even on the rainy day. So after lunch on the second day, they kind of took us around to put the full course together. So you had the back autocross section, which was now combined with like a downhill corkscrew blind drop around a section, back up to the autocross section, around to the big sweeping corner, back down the back straight. They also built a little pit lane there. I think it's a 1.5 mile course. Speeds over 110, probably 115 miles an hour, depending on how you're driving. And it was a lot of fun. They allowed us to do, it had to have been 20, 30-minute session with the M3 and then the M4. And then we did some M5 work as well. So it was very tiring. They have plenty of water there, which was nice. And they give you a break after every session. So if you're going into this, after every session, restroom break, water, if you have snacks, you can grab that. Whatever you have to do, you're gonna get a break up session every single time. Your phone, keys, whatever you have with you, you can put that in the car with you. You're gonna have a car assigned to you every single time. So I was car number 2 for the whole time. So I knew which car I was gonna be in every single time. let's see what else. I was gonna bring some camera gear to record this event, and I probably could have, thinking back, but a big reason I didn't do that is when you record and when you're a YouTuber and videographer, it takes a lot to do that. It's a lot of effort to get good quality and provide a good product for the audience to watch. And for an event like that, I really wanted to get the most out of it. So I knew that if I was gonna video and do it the right way, I wouldn't have been as present, if that makes sense, and that would have taken away from my experience. So obviously right now you're seeing some overlay shots of what I took of other drivers and kind of seeing the layout of the course and some of the instructors and the cars and things like that you're able to see. And there's other videos online where you can kind of see GoPro footage of hot laps and that type of thing. But I really wanted to portray my experience and kind of my insights into what I thought about it, so that you can have an idea going into it. You know, I've done track days before with my motorcycle and other vehicles I've had in the past, and people have been on site to assist, but the instructors here at the BMW Performance School are first class. These guys are incredible. You know, one of them was an ex-NASCAR driver, rally driver, autocross racer for years. So there's a lot of experience, a lot of talent, a lot of knowledge from different verticals of racing that were there in one day. The ratio was incredible to student to instructor even. We had 14 people, I think, and 6, 7, 8 instructors, I believe. So it was a really good ratio, and I felt like I got a lot of attention and a lot of time. You know, it's not one-on-one. That's something else you could pay for, but this felt pretty close to that, to where if I had a question, it was answered pretty quick. And going around the track, they were able to see what I was doing, and they knew who I was, and they would call my name over the radio and, you know, tell me, hey, a little early on the brakes, or, you know, a little more speed into the corner. And I feel like I had a coach over the radio the entire time, which was nice, which, you know, a lot of experiences and schools, you don't really get that. So if you're looking to have something that's gonna have that one-on-one feel, driving multiple performance vehicles for 2 full days, I think this 2-day M school is probably for you. If you're looking to do like a full race car experience, this is not that. You know, these are street legal cars. They want, you know, BMW wants them to keep stock tires, you know, stock engine. There's no exhaust done to it, no tune. Even tire pressures are stock, so they can show you what these cars can do from the factory. If you're looking to get into a race car, they do have a, you know, right now the F82 M4 GT4 school you can do in California, and there's other experiences you can do like that. But this was something that I think was a good stepping stone for me in my journey, and I think that I probably will be attending the advanced M school and working to get my SCCA license. So this was a good jump up for me. Learned a ton, and a huge shout out to the BMW Performance Center for putting on a really good program. I learned a lot, definitely got my money's worth. So if you're looking to do it, my honest opinion, it is 100% worth it. If you are a fan of BMWs, if you want to drive a performance car and have someone coach you and not feel pressured to do something you don't want to do or go faster than you want, then this, I think, is a school for you. So once again, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It helps my small channel reach more guys like you. So once again, guys, thanks so much. Appreciate it, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.